Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I appreciate you being here. I am the ranking member of the Strategic Forces Subcommittee, and so I have a number of concerns about the cuts to missile defense, all issues that I know other members have also raised and that we'll continue to work with you and DOD on in trying to address my main concern that by cutting future programs, we're cutting our ability to attain ingenuity, to be able to look to the future as to ways and things that we might yet invent that would protect us. But I wanted to talk to you today about a topic that does not have a budgetary cost but goes directly to the issue of support for our men and women in uniform and does affect the upcoming National Defense Authorization Act. Over the past 2 years, I've authored an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act that would protect men and women who are serving in the military from losing their children in custody battles based solely on their military service. Throughout our country, there are state courts that have entered rulings where they have punished, penalized our men and women who are serving, awarding custody to the other spouse solely on the basis of their service. A court in New York, for example, ruled that even the threat of deployment of someone who was in the service was enough for custody to be awarded to their ex. There have been courts that have ruled that the time that they've spent away from their kids could be equated to abandonment, as if they had hopped on a Harley and gone to California to find themselves. No prejudice to California. Instead of actually serving their country. Now, the House has passed 3 times, once as a standalone bill and twice as an amendment, language that would protect our men and women who are serving as part of the Service Members Civil Relief Act. The DOD opposes it, and because of that opposition, it has failed in the Senate over the past 2 years. I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and the first one's pretty easy, because I want you to know that there have been several media outlets that have covered this, and when they have done viewer polls of people on this issue, viewer sampling, this is a 98% issue. No one believes that anyone should lose custody of their children solely based upon their service in the military. So I'm going to ask you your opinion on that. And the second thing I'm going to ask is, we have a real opportunity. We have about less than a month before the National Defense Authorization Act will go through this committee. I would like your commitment to have your staff to work with my staff and staff of this committee so that we can come up with language that DOD would support. Because the only goal is ensuring that if you serve our country, that you not lose custody of your children based solely on that fact. So the 2 questions to you, sir, are 1, do you believe it's right for people to lose custody based solely on their service in the military? And secondly, will you agree to work with us over the next month so that DOD's opposition, which I have the 4-page memo of DOD's opposition last year, might be resolved and we could come up with language we could agree to?
I'm opposed to anything that disadvantages our men and women in uniform solely because of their service. I had not realized that DOD had opposed this. Like going back to Mr. Smith, I'll go back and find out what that's all about, and I will commit to you that we will work with you on it.
I greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman?